Let's go. I'm hyped for this. You guys don't even understand. The truck's done. So if you guys watched the last video, I took the truck in, got an alignment, got a few other things done, oil change done, and then I took it directly to the shop to get my turbo lines fixed. So if you guys know, if you have an 09 to 14 F-150 3.5 EcoBoost, or an EcoBoost at that, you guys probably know one of the common places for coolant to leak or oil to leak is the turbo. If you guys also looked into replacing the turbo yourself, you probably watched a video that was pretty lengthy and you're like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna nut up and pay the money to get it fixed. I've gotten a few quotes on that. A couple of those were a little more than I wanted to spend, so I opted to maybe try to do it myself or just see how long they would last until they got bad enough, or it got bad enough, because it's only one. And then I finally called this shop. They gave me a pretty reasonable price, or pretty reasonable quote, so I ended up just taking that option and got it fixed. Another thing that I needed fixed that I watched a video on as well, and I know that I was capable of doing, but I decided not to do it just because it was already in the shop, was a new vacuum pump. So basically, we have a brand new truck. Not actually, but it feels brand new because these issues have been, you know, kind of an issue for a little while, and I've just been kind of limping it along just to get through. Not that I didn't want my truck fixed, it was just more like I didn't drive it that much. I didn't have wheels and tires for it, and it just wasn't something that I wanted to show off, so it looked better in the parking lot or in the driveway. So anyway, I got those fixed. I got my wheels and tires, so it's time to start putting this thing back together in its final stages. So I need to get the wheel lights on, fender liners, inner fender liners. I took those out to do some work, that suspension work and a few other things, and then I left those out so the shop didn't have to worry about those. That's one less step that they had to take. That probably saved them maybe an hour and a half. At least that's how long it feels like it takes me to get them off. And then fender flares and bumpers. So I'm so close to getting it where, you know, it's visually appealing and all the things that really bothered me are fixed on the truck. There's a other couple odds and ends that I'm going to do, but that's going to take a weekend and it really doesn't need to be done right this instant. So we're going to go pick the truck up today, but I got a few other things that I got to do before that because, again, I actually have to work to make a little money to be able to afford the truck builds and the other shenanigans that I do. So I got to do that first, and then we're going to go pick up the truck. So stay tuned for that, and let's get into this video. It's going to be amazing. Let's do this. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they fixed them for me, but my freaking gauges worked. They weren't working, and I have no idea what happened. I think they did. I think they fixed it because they didn't screw that in as tight as I had it. If they did that, that's freaking awesome. They look so sick. Let's see if this boost gauge works. I don't know what all this needs to be at, to be honest with you. Oil pressure sitting at 90. Boost, I don't know. Obviously, I probably have to drive away for the boost to work. Like, revving it up, I don't think does anything. And then air fuel ratio is 20. I don't know any of this, so I need to get educated on that. But oh, this is sick. I'm so glad to be back in my truck. This is the best feeling ever. You guys don't even understand. Woo! Let's go. It needs gas. I have 7 miles deep. I'm going to actually put the wheels and tires on today. I'm going to put the old fender flares on and put the wheel liners back on. That way I can drive it around. It's good to go. And then after that, throughout the summer or when it warms up and I can paint some stuff, I'll get the stuff painted that I needed painted. But I'm not going to sit around and not drive my truck for that long a period of time just to wait on parts getting painted. So we're gonna go get some gas. I'm hyped for this. You guys don't even understand. I'll pick you guys back up at the shop, and we got a few more goodies to be messing with today, so let's do that. What's going on, guys? I'm back at the shop. I'm so excited about all of this. The gauges do work. I barely make 10 psi of boost. 10 is that 10 pounds? 10 whatever. So I barely get the needle to move a little bit, but everything seems to work. I'm not really sure what's like good or not. Like, in terms of air-fuel ratio and stuff like that, but the gauges do work. I'm going to show you guys kind of how I installed them. I did call Glowshift. Their customer service was absolutely amazing. So if you guys are in the market for some gauges, I couldn't recommend Glowshift enough. I called them up. They answered pretty promptly, and I asked a bunch of questions. They helped me through it without, you know, any issues. So one of my first things that I was a little nervous about with my gauges were everything's off on the truck, but they're still on. From my understanding is there's like memory in the truck, so it still has power for a little while after you shut the truck off. I'm gonna keep an eye on those and make sure those shut off. If they don't, then he told me a few things that I can try to see if that helps. They'll probably shut off because if I remember right, on key turn, they did turn on. And then when I got in the truck, they were off. So if that makes sense. So I'm gonna show you guys how to wire those up really quickly. I just wanted to let you guys know that they do work. So I have this little sheet. These sheets come with all the gauges that you have. Basically, you need a 12-volt ignition source. Then you have a headlight switch source. So basically, when your headlights turn on, the colors or the gauges lights will turn on. And then you have a ground and a constant, the lead that goes to whatever gauge that you have. So I know that that was pretty quick that I ran over that, but basically you need a constant, so basically just wire that to your battery. If you have headlights, obviously every truck has headlights, I was stupid. You can just wire a wire into your fuse panel, into the fuse that's your headlights, and then ground, obviously ground that out wherever you need. So it sounds like a lot of wiring, which it kind of is, but it's pretty simple. I'm gonna turn the camera around here and I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like. So essentially all my gauges obviously are here. I'm on the passenger side. I'll get a better look of the gauges on that side, but all my gauges are here. The wires run down through that kick panel, under the carpet, through this side, and then you guys have another kick panel where, if you guys watch my previous video on the switchback mirror lights, this is the kick panel that I tapped in for the turn signals. Basically there's fuses in here. You get fuse taps, and it's pretty self-explanatory. These have wires here. The constants, wire all the constants together, run it to the battery, and then run all your ignition wires together in the gauges, run one wire to over here in the kick panel, so you can find a switch where when the ignition's on, those turn on. And then your turn signals or your headlights or whatever, you find another fuse in here and fuse tap it in. I know that's pretty quick. That's probably a lot of information in a short period of time. I didn't want to go too terribly far into detail. Because I know that you guys probably are going to ask 15 million questions, which is completely fine, but it's easier to answer questions, like I said, case to case, rather than just run through and be like, hey guys, I'm not going to help you any further. So if you guys do decide to do this, just ask questions, drop a comment down below. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. If you have any minor wiring knowledge, you should be okay. So all these gauges, I believe, run like 220 bucks. So like, it's a pretty cool upgrade for your truck, relatively inexpensive. So I love it. It looks absolutely killer. We're going to do a few more things to this truck, probably put the wheels and tires on. So yeah, let's kind of keep moving along here so we're not sitting here talking all day. guys, I've been driving the truck for a little over a week now after I got it pretty much done, and so far so good. I do have a couple kinks that I need to work out, one being the gauges. For some odd reason, I can't get these gauges figured out. They worked fine for a little bit, and then they just turned off. Like, they wouldn't turn off, and now they won't turn on, and they're flickering. I don't know if I think I have a bad ground. Ground just, for some reason, just feels like that's the cause of all this. So as far as that goes, I need to get that taken care of. I need to get my bumper done still. Just a few odds and ends. Then the truck's gonna be pretty much done. As far as drivability, it's, knock on wood, been great. I have no complaints there. So again, the next video is probably still going to be some truck content, because I'm not going to be done with truck content until I get it all wrapped up, or at least like super close to being wrapped up, and I can justify another project. Stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoy truck content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I appreciate all your guys' support. And with that being said, see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Been the one since a fetus. Don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic. That's a no, no, no. Spending dope for no reason. Got a ball head, Mr. Cleaner. Heard the big bags overseas, then we gon' go